The man cruelly threw the woman who had just given birth into a coffin alive. He even heartlessly fed her newborn child to the dogs, all because he had heard she possessed a lucky fate. To test her, he forced her to bear a dead man's child, just to prove her so-called fortune. In truth, the women in her village were all known for their lucky fate, and she was the most powerful among them. So she was chosen to marry a terminally ill man to drive away bad luck. Miraculously, the man recovered completely, and a year later, she gave birth to a pair of healthy twins. But the first thing he did was kill the children in cold blood. No matter how she begged in tears, he remained merciless, and even ordered her buried alive in the wild. Only before her death did she realize the man had always loved his first love, and had resented her for tearing them apart. He believed he would have healed anyway, and so took brutal revenge on her instead. Knowing resistance was pointless, she allowed herself to be sealed inside the coffin, and suffocated to death. But when she opened her eyes again, she had been reborn. This time, the Empress heard about her lucky fate, and insisted she once again marry the man to cure him. To avoid repeating her tragic past, she tried to explain to the Empress that the lucky fate was just a village rumor, but the Empress refused to believe it, and insisted she fulfill the marriage. At that moment, the man arrived. He publicly declared his wife belonged only to his first love, and accused the woman of faking her fate, demanding the Empress punish her with 100 lashes. Knowing she had no way out, the woman bowed her head and endured. The Empress reluctantly agreed to send her away, to live in seclusion, but the man followed, his words laced with a familiar cruel tone, and she suddenly realized he too had been reborn. He coldly warned her that as long as she didn't interfere in his first love's wedding, he'd let her live. On the surface, the woman offered blessings, but deep down she knew, without her luck, the man wouldn't survive the wedding night. And so, they parted ways. But the man quickly began spreading rumors, saying she was using her fate to climb the social ladder. The people were furious. Just then, the old madam of the general's estate appeared, having already prepared a coffin for her terminally ill son. The woman recognized it. It was the same coffin she had been buried in during her past life. An idea quickly formed. She offered to use her fate to save the general. The old madam was skeptical, but desperate enough to believe her, and promised to request a marriage from the Empress. Knowing the Empress wouldn't let her go easily, the woman set a trap. She secretly used silver needles to fake a pregnancy diagnosis for the first love, to make the man believe he could be healed without her. But the man thought she was trying to harm his beloved, and accused her of jealousy. To protect his first love, he ordered his guards to drag the woman outside and beat her. She cried out, saying she didn't want to marry him, nor interfere with his wedding, so why wouldn't he let her go? But he ignored her, and had her tied up and beaten, believing that if her body was damaged, the Empress would stop forcing the marriage. Little did he know, he was about to receive shocking news. The woman later awoke, to hear that the old madam had visited the Empress, and formally requested to marry her into the general's household. The Empress, grateful for the general's loyalty, happily agreed. Just then, the man barged in, claiming his first love had signs of pregnancy, and smugly showed that he could now walk without help. The doctors praised him, saying not only was he cured, but he could even father children. The woman simply gave a cold smile. The man leaned in and whispered that her pregnancy in their past life was just his own